Good dog, and welcome back to the Norwegian campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Finally, let's see what we can get out of this peace treaty. 30 billion. That's quite a lot. Let's pick up 2 of their battleships. That's 11 billion just for that. Let's pick a battlecruiser as well. Is this a new light cruiser class? Dante class light cruiser. What's this now? Do they have anyone left of the cheap ones? The oh, I forget the class name. The Lübeck. Because those would be fun to refit. Anyway, let's pick up some territory as well. Argentina, yes. This is quite affordable territory too. Where's that they had near China? Southern Brazil. I'll take that. Bolivia, Paraguay. Sure. Peru, Ecuador, Uruguay. They're heavy cruisers. I'll take some of those as well. Means I might have to give up some of this stuff. Let's see, they can keep Paraguay. And I can take some more ships instead. Because that's more fun. I want to take one of their light cruisers just to see what it's all about. That should be 4 heavy cruisers, 2 battleships, a battlecruiser, and a light cruiser. If they had any left of the Lübecks, those were only like 150 million, so I could have taken quite a few of those. I mean, sure. There's some money left on the table here. Nice. Okay. I only got 1 of their battleships. The Vetin. And 3 of their heavy cruisers. Okay, but we're gonna do some refits. I was really hoping I would be able to get 2 of these. And then have like a pair to form a task force around. Am I over capacity? No, not really. Let's move these guys here. And these here. Have things move into port. Alright. Alright. Let's see. Refits. Schleswig-Holstein class battleship. Yes. Alright, so the Sadly, the displacement slider is not fully filled out. Can't really change that. That's the one slider I'm not allowed to play with in the refits. So the resistance will not be as high as it could have been. Let's up the beam and draft just a little bit, which do add a little bit of gun damage mitigation on its own, but it's not the same as resistance. It's applied after. As for engines, I'm kind of tempted to just go with the usual turbo electrics. It typically works out well for me. Steam steering, why are we doing that? Modern 2 armor, that's good. Single hull bottom, definitely not good. That can be much better. There we go. Resistance up to 152. If I combine that with anti-torp 5, 154. Now we're talking. With generation 3 radar. Electro Hydra 2 turrets, that is a bit heavier than I would like. I'd rather have faster reloads. And we're actually going increased HE. Also increased ammunition. We're going from stereoscopic to coincidence. Let's see, what's the flashfire chance? 0.7%. Now it's 0. Nice. If I dare go with heavy shells, 1.2. 0.1. That's pretty nice. 0.1, we can deal with that. Now, as for, well, first of all, these secondaries, they're very plentiful. The 7.4-inch guns as secondaries here, that's pretty neat. I think I can fit bigger guns than 3-inch on these upper placements here. Main tower is modern tower 4. That's the tiniest one. No, I didn't want to take off the... Gosh darn it, game. Well, I removed a lot more stuff than I wanted to, so I guess we're just building the ship from scratch. Now, does the turret fit on that built-in barbette? I know it did on the secondary tower, because it had one there before the game just decided that no, I wanted to replace both of them. There we go. Decent engine efficiency. Two of these big funnel stations. And yes, 20-inch guns do fit there. That looks nicer. Now this is quite an expensive and big ship. Move this in a little bit here. I'm gonna have to lighten up these inner layers quite a bit, because I don't need that much protection. That's equal to 54 inches. And you don't get that level of penetration, at least not in dip. 8-inch guns, the secondaries, or are these a little bit too big? The 7-inch guns look too tiny, so we're going with 8s, just because of that. They're kind of big though, but they also kind of look the part. Also, one thing I want to do with the main guns, I want to do a double and triple combination. So we're reducing the total number of guns by 2 barrels, from 12 to 10. But we do get that staggered reload that I noticed was pretty nice on those captured French ships. So the 7-inch guns, do they fit on the upper? No. 6? No. 5. They fit, but they look tiny. I guess that's kind of the downside with having such a huge ship. A lot of your guns end up looking very undersized. I want a full 18-inch main belt. I want decent fore and aft belts. We can reduce the main deck armor by a little bit. Can reduce that too. Reducing the main deck saved a lot. We got the third inner deck here protecting the ship, which in fact can also be reduced a little bit. Turn that down to 1.5. What level of penetration do we get with these? I mean, 3 inches on the third inner belt would be enough, probably. Let's go 3.5. There we go. Yeah, I can only pen myself within like 10,000 meters. If we're talking about going through the inner layers. The main belt itself can be penned out to almost 30,000 at a very flat angle, but yeah, that's pretty nice. Good enough. We're gonna have to upgrade the marks here on the main gun turrets. Some parts are badly placed. Are you badly placed? Oh, I didn't see you there, random secondary turret. There we go. 53 calibers in length. Let's make that an even 55 for an almost 50-kilometer main gun range with AP. Now we're gonna need some armor on these turrets. Like so. Uh, 8-inch guns. 50 calibers in length. Let's make you into 55s as well. And 8.5s. You still fit? You still fit. And an even 20-kilometer range with AP. Good. Now the 5s need to be 5.9s. That's a 150 millimeter. Thereabouts. Good. And they look a little bit more like they fit now. Further on with the secondary guns. Here we go. Fit some triple 4-inch guns. How about some 3-inch guns somewhere? No? Good enough. Let's see, 4.2. Just so I can add a little bit of armor. Give them some level of protection. There we go. Looking, starting to look fine now, I think. Starting to look pretty good. Cost is 6.5 billion. So we've increased the value of the ship by 1 billion. I didn't take note of the maintenance cost before we started the work here, but it could possibly have been reduced even. Alright. Anything else I want to add to this? I can go a little bit heavier on the turret top armor, I guess. Fore and aft decks can be increased. Got an aft weight of 1%. I could fix that by just moving the entire thing forwards. I mean, it's 1%. It doesn't actually make that big of a dip of an impact. Yeah, see there, we're talking like 0.6% reduction to some things. So it's not a big deal. Can even go auxiliary 5. I almost never do that. But I might want to do something with that turning circle. So 1087. That's still quite ponderous, isn't it? 1019. 1060, that's worse. 1.9 flash fire channels. Ah. 0.2. That's better. (1070) turning circle. We can go down to shaft 4 and back up to auxiliary 5. And then just shave off a tiny bit of armor somewhere, maybe. Oh no. These 5.9-inch guns need more side armor, actually. Let's do these 8.5s. Let's go 9. I'd also like some slightly better barbette protection here. Although I'm not sure how much the barbette protection actually does. There we go, that saved a bit of weight. Fixed a bit of weight offset. But yeah, I would like to have the main belt and the citadel layers extend out to this bulkhead here. Just to like make sure that it's these compartments are actually protected by that level of armor. Okay, we can move this out like so. Too far from previous place. That's as far forward as that goes. And now I can actually move this Y turret forwards just a little bit. Shave off some of the weight I just added. Come on now. Very finicky. There we go. We're not that much overweight now. That's good. But we are a little bit overweight. Which means something has to go. But what? The advanced radio? I mean, it doesn't weigh that much, does it? And the flagship communication bonus, probably a nice thing if it's gonna be a flagship. Which I'm assuming it probably will be, because the game often puts the biggest ship as the flagship, which will be this one. Closer. Closer. I guess we can go down to double 4.2s instead of triples. Or I guess just make them 2-inch guns. That's something to fill in. There we go. That is the Refitting Schleswig-Holstein class. Too bad I only got one of these. I wanted both of them. That's why I asked for them. But also too bad I can move this up just a little bit more. I like the placement of the A and Y turrets, just because they stretch out that armor just enough that it covers those compartments. But I like the superstructure centered a little bit more in between them. But that was too far from previous place, apparently. So the game said no, not allowed to do that. Now then, we've got some more ships to refit. And now we've got the German battlecruiser. 119 resistance. Again, not fully filled out on the displacement slider here. I can reduce that quite a little bit. Quarters down to standard. Let's start by cleaning cleaning up some of this randomized nonsense. I guess those can stay. Weird turrets all over. Oops. Like, why did it remove that turret? That wasn't even what I wanted to remove. Let's take that off. Let's see if I forgot which secondary tower was on it when I started, but let's see if I can fit. Too far from previous place. Darn it. Don't tell me I'm gonna be locked to this clown show turret layout that the AI had. If I move that there, am I allowed to add? I can put a turret there. That's fine. Okay. And now I can put a turret there. Okay. I cannot move this any further forwards than that. That's as far as that goes. Too far from previous place. That is literally how far back I can mount that secondary tower. And that is as far forwards as I can mount that turret. So that kind of limits me. And I can have that like so. 13.2 inch gun, excuse me. Not 12. What kind of engines do we have? Diesel. I guess we can run with diesel. Electrohydro 1 steering, that's fine. Let's see. Is this one of those ships that you can make really fast? I can make it quite speedy. 35 knots is possible. Resistance is on the low side though. 120, and that's with everything that is resistance related maxed out. Oh, light shells, reduced ammo. No, no, no. We're not doing that. Semi-AP. We're also not doing that. HE is fine though. Now, what kind of main guns can I fit on these barbettes here? 16s might be too big, yes. 15s? Too big. 14s? Also too big. What kind of mine tower are you? Modern Tower 3. That is the biggest one. So then, I guess we're stuck with 13.6s. Really? I can't fit anything bigger than that. on this tower. If I could move it back just a little bit, I can't because of that tower, but if I could fit like an actual barbette here for the B turret, and just put a secondary or something on the built-in barbette. But I guess that's not possible. What kind of main guns can I put on the aft tower? 16 is almost doable. It looks a little bit big though. 15 for some reason doesn't fit at all. The 16 did, kind of. That's weird. The 15 just doesn't fit at all. Why did the 16-inch fit better than the other ones? I don't get it. Even the 17 does fit better than strange. Fine, if the game says I have to use 13.2, then that is my caliber. We're gonna make them 13.5s though. It's a very... I guess we're not making them 13.5s either. There we go, now you fit. 13.3. I say you fit. Stop it. Some guns have poor sector of fire. I don't believe you. Now we're going down to 1 on the third inner deck. We can go up to 12 on the main belt and just rely on the third inner belt. Gonna have a little bit more armor on the extended belt though. And some on the conning tower. Okay, that's the turret armor laid out. Secondary guns. What can we get here? Force? No. Not the doubles either. Okay. So we're using the 3.6s that the ship already had. As for these places here, seven-inch guns do fit. Our ship is overweight, but the turrets still fit. So that's nice. Okay, that turret will just have to stay there and be, you know, 360 traverse capable, which isn't bad. It's just how it's gotta be, I guess. Move the A turret just a tiny inch forwards. Just so I'm absolutely sure that this bulkhead here is covered. Funnel. We got the Uber funnel 3. 85 funnel capacity. This Uber funnel station has a 97 funnel capacity. The best of the funnel stations I could get for the super battleship hull only had 80 something. So this can get better better funnel cap than the... That's a huge funnel though. Oh, two of these would have looked so good on that super battleship. Sadly, I cannot fit two of them here. So, if I can only have one funnel, it's got to be the big one. Alright. A little bit overweight. A little bit strange on the layout here, but overall, I'm kind of liking it. What kind of turning circle do we have? 1164. This does not turn well. It's quite cumbersome. You got 0% flash fire chance. If I think I can go down to barbette 2 and still have 0. Yes. Nice. And the armor is okay, fine. Let's save it. Not that much more can be done with it. The starting turret placement was weird enough that couldn't really do too much without going too far from the previous place. I guess if I want to, I can give it another refit after this, because I've noticed that if you get the too far from previous place thing, when you try to rearrange a weird ship that you're refitting, you can do kind of incremental refits. And now for the Litzau, which and I can see why these were so tough. 155.9 resistance. That's quite tanky for a cruiser. Let's put you at 28 knots so you can just follow some battleships around or something. Bulkheads maximum. I'm liking these 5-inch guns. I like the look of them. Now, this is where we're gonna have a some problems here with the initial turret layout and the too far from previous place shenanigans. Advanced Tower 1. You can go up to Advanced Tower 3. Cannot build above displacement limit for armored cruiser, 23,000 tons. There we go. Let's go up to Advanced Tower 3. Let's first see if I can I could do something about the turret layout here. Like, is it even possible? For some reason today, that was not a problem. That was not too far from previous place. I mean, fine. We're gonna change the caliber. I'm not running single 9-inch guns. Funnel station extra large. with cheese. And a side of fries. There we go. Can go with 2 standards. We are not gonna run gear turbine 1. That is for sure. We're also not gonna run Citadel 4. Resistance now 159.6. 164. Now we're talking. Shaft 5. Probably don't need that. And I was tipped off that auxiliary 4 is often better than 3. Or often lighter. Well, 23, 242. It saved a couple of tons. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Range is crazy good. We can go down in funnel size here. Probably. Why is large smaller than small? Oh, it is physically bigger, but it's lighter and cheaper. No, it's not cheaper, but it's lighter. It's lighter by quite a bit. Like so? Or how small are the smallest ones? Oh, stop that. Darn it. And it like takes the entire thing out for a spin. I'm just gonna figure out the funnel situation before I find like the final mounting points for these things. That works, I guess. Small secondary tower 6. It's that one. Or I can use one with a built-in barbette. Let's just put one of those there so we don't lose it. Take that off. I guess that works. I'm allowed to put that turret there. That is nice. It's like, I just want to move one of you. Of course, now I do. There we go. Thank you, finally. Alright. Main guns. They need to be bigger than 9-inch. Because this is a pretty big, it's a pretty big cruiser. I'm thinking probably 11s. Yes, I know I'm overweight now, but does that work? That tower is too small to fit an 11-inch turret. That's a pretty big tower. I guess we're gonna be finicking with the tower placements here, but at least the game isn't telling me that things are too far from their previous place, so I do have some liberty with how things are mounted. Do you fit? You fit. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for not making a big problem out of that. Oh yeah, we got underwater tubes here. Do I still have torpedoes on this? No. Good. I took them all off. Now we're going with this had a noticeable flash fire chance. As you can see, every time we fought these ships, well, not every time, but very often, the A turret would fly off. And I don't think it's supposed to do that. If we just go with down, let's keep the heavy shells actually. 0.3 flash fire chance. I think we can kind of fix that. Turning circle 395. That's pretty good. Stereoscopic? No. Coincidence. And radar generation 3. Okay, 2.5 on the third inner belt. That is equal to 25. Might be thicker than it needs to be. I just thinned it out too much. I wanted it to be 2. There we go. 2 inches equal to 20. Let's have that equal to 7. That's good enough. You can slim down the fore and aft decks, but I definitely want more on the fore and aft belts. That's for sure. Because I don't want to be taking HE full penetration hits from battleships. There we go. Let's fit some of those there. 5.4? No, I think we say 5.9. But you're very long. 60, 61. Good enough. Turret needs a little bit more armor. Especially the 5.9s, because they had very little. Conning tower is it's decent. Conning tower is not too bad. Now to save weight, let's see, 0.1% flash fire chance. To save weight, come down to anti-flood 2. It does save It saves a little bit. It's not huge savings, but it is something. We're still overweight though. What if I stack the gun barrels again? My new favorite thing. Just because I realized that it's not too detrimental. In fact, it can be beneficial, if only just a little bit. And it does make the ship look a little bit more unique. But that doesn't change the fact that we're 2,000 tons overweight. Can reduce the range a little bit more. Do I have to reduce the... I guess I can go with standard ammunition. And then suddenly barbette protection can be reduced down to barbette 2. And still provide protection from flash fires. In fact, I can go with the lighter electrical components here. That do add to the flash fire chance, but it's still 0 thanks to the tube powder. Now we're getting somewhere. Less than 1,000 tons overweight. I do have more secondaries I want to add though. .2-inch guns fit there. Gotta make them 4.2 so I can... no, they have armor already. Never mind. Never mind. They're already protected. So they're good enough. Kind of. And some quad 2-inch guns just because. Just because I feel like I have to have something there. Superstructure can be reduced a little bit. In fact, the turret armor can also be reduced a little bit. We're now a little over 800 tons overweight. If I go with diesel 2, it does save a bit of weight. Like a little bit. And it makes the maintenance cheaper. How about gas turbines? I mean, not bad. Not quite the same. I mean, I need to increase the range though in that case. Turning circle is still not too bad. Yeah, I don't quite get the same amount of bonuses as I do with the turbo electric drive, but it's still pretty good. It does save on maintenance costs, similar to diesel and turbo electric. And the acceleration and all that stuff is also pretty good. There's also minus 40% engine vibrations, which is that better than turbo electric? No, not quite as good. Turbo electric has minus 60%. That's one of the downsides of diesels. Although you get more top speed for cruising speed, the percentage you gain from sailing at cruising speed is not really as good as what you lose out on from engine vibrations. So there's that. Yeah, we're just gonna go with gas turbines. Made the ship quite a bit cheaper too. But what to do about the overweight problem? If we go down to semi-auto, that does save a bit. Almost 30-kilometer range from a cruiser. That's neat. Oh, we're going to be doing this, of course, too. And we're going standard ratio. What more to do to save the weight? I mean, I could reduce that and save quite a lot, but that detracts from the the main strength of this design, and that is the resistance of 164. That's better than most battleships. This is a very tough cruiser hull. That's why I wanted some of them. At 28 knots, it's not super fast, but it's perfect for just having it follow the battleships around. And because it will be the same speed as the battleships, it's not going to do a bunch of weird maneuvers. Because the AI just does not understand what is happening if a faster ship is trying to follow a slower ship. The game just has some kind of aneurysm, and it doesn't work. This is going to be risky, turning down the deck armor, but I guess we got the inner deck going there, so 0.7 inches. That's equal to 7. Because the shell will have lost 90% of its penetrating power. Yeah, you're not getting 7 inches of penetration out of a cruiser caliber gun. You do get it out of a battleship caliber gun, though. Although, to be fair, I have not noticed a lot of deck hits in dip. I think Brother Munro greatly reduced the chance of hitting decks. So it's so heavy though. I guess we're gonna remove those stern secondary guns. They weren't really doing much anyway, so that is it. Litzau class heavy cruiser, now refit and ready for service in 7 months. And now, finally, the Dante class light cruiser. Only got one of these. See, it's got 6.1 inch guns. That's nice, I guess. We're putting gas turbines into U2 just to have some more displacement to play with, although not even getting that much out of this. Turning beam and draft to 0. How fast can it go? Is it going to be stuck at 30, or can I make it go 35? I can almost make it go 35. almost. Which means it will be capable of keeping up with my modern light cruisers. That is Enhanced Cruiser Main Tower 3. That one. No, it's I'm stupid, it's this one. This one has a built-in barbette, the best one. Or actually, many of the better ones have built-in barbettes. So we're gonna do like that. And like so, because that makes a lot more sense to me. Shoo, away with you random secondary gun. Funnels. Hyper funnel 2. I guess that's not too bad. 36 funnel capacity. I think something like an advanced angled funnel would look better on this hull, because these those funnels were kind of thick. And then an auxiliary angled funnel. That's too small. How about these ones? Standard refit funnel. Ship is still overweight, but at least we're going fast. A little bit more, a little bit less range. Good enough. Like so, and I flood 2, saving some more weight. Triple bottom, just so it doesn't flood as easily. %0 flash fire tunnels, even with heavy. Still 0. Nice. Electro Hydro 2 turrets, we don't need that. That is very, very heavy. Let's go with, did that even save a lot of weight? Because the tower is not that heavy. No, we're keeping the RDF. We are reducing the deck armor slightly. We are increasing the fore and aft belt armor slightly. There we go. And also somewhat reducing the inner belt armor. Yeah, we can go 7 inches. We can go 6.1 inches on the turret armor. 66 calibers in length. And still the rate of fire is not too bad. What kind of secondary tower do we have? Rear tower 7. I want something with a barbette. But this doesn't fit. This fits, and it kind of fills in the ship a little bit better. That barbette looks ridiculous on that turret. We're picking something else. We're picking that one. Are these boats, I guess those boats just stay there. What kind of barbette do I need to super fire those boats? Just a tiny one will do. That's perfect. Didn't need much. 13-second reload. Nice. Secondary guns. And we get some of these funky quadruple 3-inch guns. Ready to snack on some transports. Can I move this tower further aft? No, that's as far as it goes. As far as it goes, but that's fine. That is fine. Do I want torpedoes on this? I could put a quintuple launcher back here. I mean, it's dip, so torpedoes weigh pretty much nothing. Do you have like underwater tubes somewhere hidden? No? Fine. Actually got some weight to spare. Interestingly. Yeah, I did not think that tiny barbette would actually let my turret super fire those annoying boats, but it did, and I'm glad, because now it also super fires the torpedo launcher. It didn't take much. I think that's good enough. I think that's a decent looking little light cruiser. Detectability is quite low. Spotting range is half decent for only having 4,000 base tower spotting. That is Dante, a still quite affordable little light cruiser. Not super cheap, but not super expensive either. But how would you look with 7-inch guns? How much more heavy would a 7.5-inch gun be? Quite a bit, it seems. But it does fill in the ship better, though. And if I do that, we can replace these 6.1-inch guns with 17.5s. We get roughly the same rate of fire, roughly the same range. At 10,000 meters, these can go through 3.1. These can go through 4. Hang on, let me fix the ammunition layout here, and we're going increased HE, of course. There we go. 10,000 meters, 4.3, 3.3. Yeah, we're going 7-inch guns on this. Because 7-inch guns have served me well on my own light cruiser designs. Darn it, now this barbette no longer works. No! And I was really like on a roll here with that surprisingly good little barbette on the back there. If I go with, I know it's a bit heavy. I'm not allowed unless I hold shift, but then no, the game still says no. Too far from previous place. How is that too far from previous place, but this is not? Does it like consider it to be a different kind of barbette? Maybe. Now we're overweight again, but yeah, there's no point in because the boats would block those torpedoes too. Stupid boats. I can go down to barbette 2, still have 0% flash fire chance. Barbette 1, 0.1%, which is still very low, but let's not play with fire. Where's my torpedo spotting range on this? Is it like good or terrible? It's fine. Once again, slightly overweight. Can reduce that a little bit like so. Reduce that, but I do want to increase this. The turret side armor. So they don't get knocked out. Now what else can we do? How is the resistance is actually very, very low. So let's just go down to double instead of triple bottom. It's not as if we're gonna live or die based on that resistance anyway. So there we go, Danzig. It's a neat looking cruiser design, I think. Too bad I only got one of them. If they had those Litzau class light cruisers still in service, I would pick up a whole lot of them. Just because they were so cheap. I could get a whole bunch as war operations. And like that, finally, the refit designs are done. The Schleswig-Holstein is being repaired, so that cannot be a refit quite yet. I can refit that battlecruiser though, and the 3 Litzaus, I think. There we go, and Elbing. Nice. I had some in the previous couple of turns before that peace treaty. I did have a bunch of convoy battles that I just avoided because I didn't want to didn't want to damage the ships that I was hoping to take. Although now knowing that the light cruisers I was up against was actually the new Dante class, and not the cheap and cheerful Litzau's. Excuse me, not Litzau's. The whatever they were, the cheap light cruisers they had. Like maybe why not? Could have sunk them and got some more victory points, and taken some more territory. Chile. That was cheap. Did I ask for that? Maybe I did. I've forgotten. But almost all of South America now under my control. I know I let them have Paraguay so I could pick up some more ships. Almost all of South America now under my control. Most of Europe. But there is an island that I would like to have. So I will see you next time when we start the next war. Goodbye and take care.